mac and cheese is it. Now, I have to admit, I do love Kraft mac and cheese. I have no hate against it. I often do stuff to make it next level, but today we're going to make sort of a more traditional homemade mac and cheese. And I got some water boiling, so let's start out with that. So I have about 200 grams of elbow macaroni. You can, of course, just use whatever pasta you like, as long as it's sort of mini shaped. And I guess you could use spaghetti, that'd be pretty off the hook, but yeah, let's stick with the elbow macaroni for today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this boiling water, and I'm going to lower this heat because if I stick this macaroni in there, it's going to boil over. So I'm gonna lower this down to about medium. And I'm gonna pour this macaroni in. Now I did add some salt in that water just to get the water salted. Slowly do this so I don't splatter any hot water on myself. I'm gonna set a timer for 8 minutes. Okay, all right. And I'm also going to add some olive oil to that. I'm gonna boost that heat a little bit. It kind of killed the boil, which is okay. And that's just gonna make it so the noodles don't stick as much to each other. Now, depending on who you ask, that may or may not be true, but move that around a bit. And I'm going to let that, really did kill the boil. I'm gonna increase that heat until it comes back up. So I'm gonna go medium-high heat. Toast some Panko breadcrumbs because that is going to serve as the topping for our mac and cheese. So, got myself a handy dandy pan, and I'm going to place that on, let's go medium heat. While that's heating up, it's gonna take a sec. I'm gonna slice myself a pat of butter. I just have some grass-fed butter here, and any butter's fine really. This is just the butter that I have here. I'm not gonna go with a whole bunch because I don't want it to be too watery. I think that's perfect. And we're gonna get that in the pan. Let that melt. Let that pan heat up. You can see over here that the water is coming to a nice boil. I'm gonna give that a stir. So do stir this occasionally. Very nice. Now this is not quite ready yet. Once that butter starts sizzling, then we know we're ready for some panko action. So we'll wait it out a little bit. So the reason I am toasting this panko is because I like a nice crunchy top on my mac and cheese. You may not like that. You may want to just stick with straight up just mac and cheese, and if you want that, you can skip this whole step of toasting the panko. I'm not gonna skip it because I want toasted panko. And I want it nice and buttery, and that's what I'm gonna go with. So, right there. We got some buttery action going on there. So I'm gonna kind of eyeball this. Hear that butter sizzling. Open up some panko breadcrumbs. And I'm going to call that about a cup of panko breadcrumbs. And we should grab something to saute that because we want to get it nice and toasted. So we are basically going to toast this until it's nice and golden brown. It's smelling good in here. I wish smell-o-vision was a thing that existed, but unfortunately we're not there yet. It's crazy. We have AI, but smell-o-vision is not something that's widely available. I think they're experimenting with it. I think there are certain little, I don't know, I've seen tech articles here and there that's like, oh, now you can smell the movie that you're watching. You ever wonder what Star Wars might smell like? Like, for instance, when Luke Skywalker had to cut open that tauntaun to sleep inside it so he wouldn't freeze to death on Hoth. What do you think that smelled like? I don't know. Probably not great. Good thing Han Solo found him. But I guess if I was stuck on a frozen planet and I had to do what I had to do, then, you know, I would do what I had to do. Oh, crumb overboard. So why are we toasting this in butter? It's to get these breadcrumbs nice and buttery. Now we don't have to add butter. You could actually skip this whole step of toasting the Panko breadcrumbs and just using them as is, but this adds a little bit of depth to the breadcrumbs and therefore adds more depth to the mac and cheese. That's looking good. It's kind of getting to that light golden that I want. Golden. You know, the word golden reminds me of the cereal Golden Grams. It's not a cereal I ate a whole lot growing up, but the commercials always made it look really good. Okay, yeah, we're getting close. But anyways, I say all that to say that whenever I hear the word golden, I think of Golden Grams. But again, not a favorite cereal because I just didn't have it that much. I'm gonna kill the heat on this. And just toast it a little bit more. See, we got some nice brown in there. That's what toasting in butter over medium heat will grant you. So, I'm going to let that sit. While I'm here at the stove, almost time to remove that macaroni from the boil that we can see here, but I'm also going to, actually, you know what? I'll hold off on that. I was going to preheat the broiler, but we'll hold off. Just move this around a bit. I just want to make sure it doesn't burn. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, we're going to use all of that. None of that's going to go to waste. So, we're almost there. We got 44 seconds. And you might think, why are you boiling it for such a short amount of time? Well, if you overboil the pasta, you're not going to get al dente pasta. Al dente pasta has that nice chew to it. I don't like really overly soft pasta, like, I don't know, like you're eating leftover pasta. Although, leftover pasta, nothing wrong with that. I love leftover spaghetti, even leftover mac and cheese. But when I'm eating a nice, hot, fresh plate or bowl of macaroni and cheese, I do like a nice chew, and that applies to how I like most of the pasta that I eat when it's hot and fresh. I like a nice chew. I like a nice bit of bite. Now we hear the timer is going off, so we're going to turn that off. And now I'm going to actually keep the heat on because we need this to use our sauce. I'm going to keep it at about that heat. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, we are going to drain this in the sink. Oops. Sorry, camera person. We got a few stray ones. So, I'm gonna loosen it all because I don't want to waste any of that. Turn this to the heat. Basically just The rest of it. Okay. So now, gotta heat up some milk. Put that in the sink. Oh, got some stray pieces. Stray pieces. Stray Kids. Isn't that a K-pop group or something? Stray Kids? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. I'm gonna take 1 cup of milk and add that onto our pot, because now we are actually going to make a cheese sauce. Now, what you could also do, if you want, is you can make a bechamel, and that's basically, how can I explain this? A bechamel is what they call a mother sauce, because from that you can make other sauces. A bechamel is basically usually butter, flour, milk, and that's the bechamel once it all thickens up. And then from there you could add cheese. And traditionally, when most people make mac and cheese, they use a bechamel. I am not going to make a bechamel. My cheese sauce is actually going to be, I guess, closer to Velveeta. So one of the ingredients I'm using is American cheese. And American cheese by itself, I would only say is really good for burgers, but it's also good for making a cheese sauce because it has, trying to remember the name of the ingredients, sodium citrate and potassium citrate. And those are just fancy names for what they call melting salts. And basically, getting all of the jargon and mumbo jumbo out of the way, it'll let you make a smooth sauce. I don't know how the science works. All I know is that it works. I've made cheese sauce with those ingredients before without using American cheese, but since American cheese has it sort of built in, I'm going to use these cheeses, or this cheese. I'm also going to use some mild cheddar because you want an actual cheese flavor to this mac and cheese, and some Parmigiano Reggiano to add a nuttiness and funkiness to the mac and cheese. Now let's take a look at our milk. Okay, we are definitely boiling, so I'm gonna lower the heat down because I don't want that to go too nuts. And add in, that milk is going to froth over if we let it, so let's not let it. Let's add in all of that American cheese. That should start to melt. Just give it some time. I know it looks not very mac and cheesy at all. We will get there, I promise. Okay, now I think I'm gonna actually boost the heat to speed up the melting. Alright, yeah, I feel the milk thickening, and that's thanks to this American cheese melting down. Just gonna keep that moving until this cheese completely melts down. I know it doesn't look appetizing yet, but we will get there. We will get to Cheese Town together. And we will start a new life as residents of the city of mac and or cheese. No, it's actually mac and cheese. Yeah, it's melting, melting, melting. Just gotta give it some time. Now, if this ends up being too liquidy, and I'm thinking it's not, but if it does, we don't have to use all of this sauce in our mac and cheese. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm gonna put the spoon away because the ingredient I grabbed that I'm going to use, and it's a little bit more closer to sauce time, which is Dijon mustard. And all that's going to do is add just another layer of flavor. I love layering flavors You can think of it as Photoshop for food, because with Photoshop you work in layers. That is such a multimedia nerd thing to say. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know, my friend, he has this joke that like, oh, you know, that's your mango. So he has a funny story that he told. There was a gentleman who was finishing up dinner, and by his side was a mango, just a whole mango. The waitress comes up to him and says, would you like to order dessert? And he says, no, I brought my own. He then proceeds to slice this mango in half and go to town on it, like with just reckless abandon. He's getting juice all over the place. So this dude loves mango. So my friend says, if you love something a whole lot, then that's your mango. So for me, talking about multimedia, talking about tech, that's my mango. And I guess food is my mango too. I'm gonna take this off the heat. I don't want it to boil over. I'm actually going to add in some of that mild cheddar cheese. I'm gonna go for about half. I don't want to use all of it because I do want to reserve some of it for a little later. But we'll go with that. Let's also add in our Parmigiano Reggiano. Again, I'm actually not going to add in all of it. I want to save some of it, again, for later. This won't take much effort. This should thicken pretty quickly. See, that is a thick sauce, and this spoon is slotted, so it doesn't run right off the spoon, but we are at Saucetown, USA. Population, you and I. Because if you are following along, making this yourself, you are about to enjoy some of the best mac and cheese you have ever made. So I've lowered the heat. And let's just give this a little taste test. That is some cheesy goodness, I will say. So I think you're ready to sort of start building. So I will now show you how I build mac and cheese. First thing I'm going to do, kill the heat on the sauce by the way, is I'm going to set my broiler on high. Start that up because we want to be able to broil by the time this thing is sort of put together. I am, grabbed this earlier, grab a bowl, and this is going to be the best way to do it probably. I'm going to grab my macaroni noodles, which by now may have sort of clumped together, and that's okay. And I'm pretty much just going to pour this cheese on there. That's hot. Okay. Mix that together. Sort of encourage a little bit more cohesion. I'm going to add some more cheddar. I'm going to reserve some because I actually want it for the topping. But I've taken it off the heat because I don't really want it to become a full-on sauce anymore. I just want to sort of fold in this cheese. Okay, we got those strands, which is what you want. Now, let's go ahead and take it over here. Oh, hold on. The Dijon. Let's add in a little bit of Dijon too. Because we want to add that layering. Ooh, that's a nasty sound of flavors. Just mix that in there. A little bit will go a long way, trust me on this. So, let's take this here. Actually, now that I'm over here, I do see that I have black pepper, so let's add that as well. And let's combine that. Be a nice peppery mac and cheese. Okay. Let's now evacuate that to our pan. Spread that out evenly. Yes, that is a lot of mac and cheese. Okay, so let's do a few things here. Let's first top this with some cheddar. It's kind of just whatever cheddar you have left. If you want to shred some more and top it, that is up to you. I think that's going to be good for me though. And I'm going to top that with some of that remainder Parmigiano Reggiano. We want to build a nice crust on the top. Okay, that's about good. And the last thing we're going to add to that is our toasted panko crumbs. Spoon here. Just going to evenly distribute those panko crumbs as much as possible. Add all of that. Saying waste not, want not. Okay, we're almost there. Kind of pat that down. All right. So now all we got to do is stick this into the broiler for about 5 minutes, and it's going to be time for mac and cheese. So do that. Pop open our oven, stick this into there carefully, right dead smack dab in the middle, and we will shut the oven. And we'll set a timer for 5 minutes. Wrong button. All right, so actually, not 5 minutes, because we are starting to get quite brown. And you know what? That's okay. So that was about less than 3 minutes under the broiler. Of going to go ahead and stop the timer. And it may not look very beautiful on the top, but hey, it's like they say, right? It's what's on the inside that counts. So, let's get some of that. Let's see what we got on the inside. And let's see if what we did indeed will count. I got myself a little slicer here. I have a feeling that I might need maybe a spatula instead, so I'm gonna keep that handy. Actually, you know what? Let's try with spatula. So, let's get rid of our dishes. Ooh, I wish you could smell this. Okay, so I'm gonna get myself a little plate here. And let's try ourselves some of this mac and cheese. Oh, it is nice and creamy though, I'll tell you that much. Oh, yeah, it's kind of just falling apart, but that's okay. That is okay with me. It's a little bit more, I guess, liquidy than I thought, but it's fine because this is still going to be bomb and I'm still going to gobble this up. Well, that's what we're looking at here. And I guess a fork is in order. Let's give it a shot. It's hot. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That's mac and cheese. And mac to the cheese. Let me have a little hot sauce. I like me a little hot sauce. Oop. Maybe a lot of it. A lot of bit of hot sauce. Okay. Now, let's give that a try. You know, it's insane what you can do with a simple amount of household ingredients. You can take these ideas that you have in your head, like an artiste, like a French artiste. I don't know if that's how they pronounce artist, but you can take all these ideas and you can turn it into something delicious like mac and cheese, and man, you have got to try this. Cheesy, yummy, gooey deliciousness. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Well, I hope you have taken away some ideas from this video, and I hope you keep checking out more of my videos. Enjoy yourself some mac and cheese. Can't go wrong with mac and cheese. But until next time, YFP out.